with that starting staff, staying healthy. Dustin May, Walker Buehler, a lot of guys that just haven't been there, whether it's all year, parts of the year, gone for a long time. He's going to have to step up. He's back. He's healthy. See what he can do.
Yeah, he said 15 seconds.
It'll be better than that turkey burger he just ate, too.
I mean,
I'm going to wait till I first pitch. Let's go. Welcome to MLB Tonight. First pitch presented by Meineke. A pleasure to have you along for the ride. Alongside Cliff Floyd, Anthony Recker, I'm Adnan Berg. The second half is about to begin in earnest, and we got lots of games. Literally every team playing baseball. Cliffy, I don't mind the extra day break right in the past Thursday game.
Right.
Now you get an actual true break, and tonight it's game on.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is when you sort of start understanding who you're about and what your team is about. You had a chance to sort of, decompress, find yourself, get yourself in the right frame of mind for the second half. Dog days of summer will always sort of hit you when it's hot out everywhere. Right, and so I think this is going to be a fun second half for a lot of teams.
I always thought it was interesting coming out of the All-Star break because you never knew how guys would react to like those 3-4 days off, especially younger guys who may not be quite as used to it. That first half is such a grind.
Yeah.
Then you get into that second half, and sometimes that can be just that little break, that mental break. That can be what really helps you kind of click it back into gear, and you can have a much different second half than maybe you did first half. And I think there's a lot of teams that we know and we're going to talk about that could use that.
Yep. I was always amused by players, and we're going to take a quick 3-day trip to Cabo. I'm like, wouldn't you want to just sleep in, sit around the house, and no flights, just chill, man?
Hey, you think you do, right? Until you get to Cabo.
Then you go, hey.
And you're like, hey.
3 days of this. I feel pretty good. All right, let's get to the pitch clock, as it were. And Shohei Ohtani, our major topic, 60 seconds, because, of course, two of the fellas here.
Ooh,
Shohei Ohtani, yeah, exactly. When it's Harold, we just go 30. Shohei Ohtani's back on the mound. He left his last two starts injured. The issue wrecked with the fingernail, the blister previously. What do you expect from Shohei tonight?
I expect to see the guy that we've seen all year. The guy who puts on a show, the guy who hits home runs, who pitches, to an elite level, strikes guys out. Look, sometimes you deal with some of these blister issues throughout the course of a year as a pitcher. It's just kind of maintenance thing. I expect him to come out and put on a show like he always does. This is one of the best. This is the premier player in all of baseball, and he's going to show it tonight.
You saw the hot spot Marcus Stroman had it in London, right? He had the hot spot where he came out and made his next start. So you don't worry about that situation. This one you worry about a little bit more because he had a cracked nail, and then he didn't pitch so well. Velocity was down his start against San Diego going into the break. So all these little things sort of make me feel like you got to get it right so you don't derail him for longer or have him out there not comfortable.
Super glue works wonders.
There it is. As a catcher, you would know. All right, next topic, as Rec alluded to, there's been some disappointments so far. So Cards, Mets, or Padres? Cliffy, should all these teams be selling? I thought it was interesting. John Mozeliak said, we're going to trade guys. May not be eligible. We're open for business, man. Put the for sale sign here. Cards are trading.
It's unfortunate. You know what? I'm literally taken back by how these teams have struggled so bad. When you look at the Padres, the Mets, and the Cardinals, there's nothing in those clubhouses doesn't speak to winning, right? They have the culture. I've never seen the Cardinals play this bad in that division. You've seen the Mets win 101 games last year. The question is, should they start trading? I believe if you want to get your team better and you understand where you are right now, if it makes sense, you got to do what you got to do for the future. So I say yes.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna break it down into teams. Cardinals, I believe, do need to sell. I think with where they're at right now, look, they don't have Yachty. He's not going to save them. As far from a pitching staff standpoint, he can't get these guys to overperform anymore. He's not there. They need help, too much help pitching. I think they have some pieces to sell. They go that route. Padres, their pitching's actually been very, very good.
Yeah.
Offensively, they've struggled, which we didn't expect. I think you kind of hold on, see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I'm not in sell mode if I'm them. I think they have enough to get there. There's some teams in the NL they can catch. The Mets, who do they sell? That's my only issue. They could sell a couple small pieces, but the big ones, I don't see it happening.
18.5 games back right now.
That's tough. Padres, they're like that win 2, lose 4.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
He's right there. Pitching's been good, though. Snell's been terrific.
No.
3 ERA and strikeouts. All right, last one. What is the biggest storyline of the second half? Cliffy, what do you got? I think it's pretty easy.
You know what? I think
the
what
clock
you talk
still,
about.
we're
Well,
still trying to get this clock
it's at
back up.
30. That's terrible.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Right. So I think when you talk about Shohei and you know where he's at, I think you have to figure out where the Angels are going.
Yeah.
And I think once you figure out where you're going, then I think Shohei has to be a big conversation of do you keep him or do you let him ride in all season?
Well, it's going to be really fun to see. I think when you talk about Shohei Ohtani, what his trade value is through the roof. Obviously, this guy's going to demand more than anybody else on the market. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Angels decide to do and where it takes the game of baseball, to be honest with you, because a lot of dominoes in the offseason are going to depend on that guy.
I liked Bo Porter's idea when he was here. He said you trade him, but the team also take Rendon's contract. So all of a sudden now you're just changing the finances of your team immediately. You're getting back prospects, everyday players, and you got to take Rendon too.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I like both.
If Anthony Rendon is a throw-in, like I know he hasn't been healthy, but come on, former MVP.
Right? You taking him?
I would.
I gotta see him play. Look, you gotta play in this game.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta play a lot. I mean, that's what they said. When I was hurt all the time, it's like if he's healthy, he can help me.
No, when Cliff Floyd is healthy, he was always bringing it. Good stuff there from the fellas. We'll check back in just a second. Our tweet right now for all of you, kind of just obviously backing off that point. What is baseball's biggest storyline of the second half? Tweet us right now at MLB Network. So, got to be Ohtani's future. That's what Alana's saying. Don't think it's Alana's so unless it's a burner account. Next one here. We got Lady Bird. Yeah, good movie. When will Aaron Judge come back? That is actually an excellent point. When he got hurt, our man Harold Reynolds said, hey, it's not going to be quick. At least the All-Star break, he was right. Let's hope it's sooner rather than later. Next up here, Chad Shaw saying, Acuna going for 40-70 or 40-80. I took a look at this today. He's on pace for 38 home runs and 75 stolen bases. So 40-70, definitely within reach. And who knows, maybe 40-80 as well, which is just mind-boggling to think about. The salty mascot. The Orioles emerging as a team to be recognized. They're only 2 games back right now in the American League East. The Rays stumbled going into the All-Star break. Baltimore's been consistent throughout. A little worried about Baltimore's pitching, but that is an excellent point. Can they really be a team to contend in the division? And lastly, Paolo. Race is wide open everywhere. It's true. 2 games right now in the American League East. You feel like in the West, Rangers only 2 games up on the Astros. The National League West right now, a dead heat between the Dodgers and D-backs. Lots of great races everywhere. So thanks for those tweets. Keep them coming.
So we're set to go, and Harold Reynolds will step in to lead it off.
And here's the action man of the Seattle Mariners, Harold Reynolds.
Big favorite here. Hi, Harold.
Safe at first base is Harold Reynolds. Way back, it is gone.
It depends on where I hit in the lineup, really, and there's been a lot of talk of me hitting leadoff.
Harold Reynolds in the leadoff spot.
Harold Reynolds leading off.
Even when Harold's not on the show, he's still our man leading off right now. And then we got Cliffy and Rec and myself.
I got no photos of us.
I mean, it's Harold's world. We know that. That's okay.
Our bad age.
It's all good.
Chop liver.
We're checking out right now the different games going. Again, every team in action, including the Dodgers and the Mets. Our man Dan Plesac is actually going to have that game with Wayne Randazzo and Heidi Waddy and Apple Plus. It's interesting. You look at this game. The Dodgers playing better now, Rack. They tied up with the D-backs for top spot in the division. The Mets, as we mentioned, has been a real struggle. But for the Dodgers, I looked at a number the other day. 4.55 ERA would be their worst starting staff ERA in a couple of decades. A guy that could be critical at turning that around is a guy who was indispensable a year ago, Julio Urias.
He's been indispensable for this team for a few years now. I mean, you think about what he did in the playoffs a couple of years ago for this team and what he's meant to this rotation. He's been their most consistent piece over the last several years because of health, because of performance, because of everything. Well, he came out this year and the home run ball has absolutely eaten him alive. I mean, he is not usually prone to giving up these kinds of numbers with the home run ball. This is early in the year. Obviously he had the injury in late May, kept him out until just the last 2 starts before the All-Star break. But it was just struggling. The ball is up in the zone. The ball is flat. It's not moving the way it usually does. When I think of this guy, when he's at his best, he's keeping the ball down. He's keeping the ball moving. There's a lot of movement on his pitches. He's, not necessarily the type of guy who's going to blow anything by you, but the movement and the way he goes in and out and uses all his entire arsenal, hits spots, locates well. Well, when he came back, his last 2 starts, he had a bit of a clunker in his first one, but look, we'll give him that. His last start against Pittsburgh, I noticed the location was so much better. he really had a little bit of bite to his breaking balls. Things looked a little bit more crisp. Maybe that time off, I mean, I know it was a hamstring, so it didn't have anything to do with shoulder, elbow, nothing like that, but maybe it allowed him to heal up, and I think he's due for a really big second half. And like I said earlier, this Dodgers starting rotation really, really needs him right now.
No question. Meantime, the Mets, they need their guy, and Justin Verlander was very good in his last start. The peripherals that are concerning, a lot less strikeout per nine than a year ago. What are you seeing from JV?
Yeah, so from JV, for me, look, he's coming off of basically, injury in spring training. First month or so or more, didn't really play. And that's after playing last year and going 175 innings after not pitching for basically 2 years. So his body at 40 years old is on this roller coaster of going up and down and trying to figure it out. Well, now he came out this year. I just thought he came out a little bit rusty. Command wasn't what we've seen from him. The slider, the breaking balls, not quite to the level that we expect from a Justin Verlander. He doesn't leave a breaking ball up in the zone like that. That is not what we've seen from Justin Verlander over the years. Yes, the strikeouts are down, but to me, it's all about location. This is a guy who throughout the course of his career has been that elevated four-seam breaking ball down guy. And when you're not able to execute that fastball up with a breaking ball down, guys are going to start timing you, or they're going to be able to start guessing on you, or they're going to be able to start, figuring you out. He just hasn't had the same quality in his starts. I think his last two outings, we've seen a different JV, and that's what I'm really looking forward to with him and Urias tonight. I think this is going to be a pitcher's duel. I think these two are going to come out of the gate in the second half and really pitch well, and both of their teams need it.
3.6 ERA for Verlander. Again, not bad, but a year ago, the guy was microscopic, 1.75, for winning the Cy Young Award. All right, as we continue here with our leading off, we've got the Marlins taking on the Orioles. Again, two surprise teams so far, and the Brewers and the Reds. A lot of talk around, obviously, Ellie De La Cruz, 30 games so far, guys. 325. His numbers, by the way, Cliffy, he's on pace, 22 homers, 86 RBI, and almost 90 stolen bases.
It's amazing you can get a spark from one guy that just comes up and just change the whole landscape of that clubhouse, right? Everybody loves him.